everyone, this is Courtney from Love Lives On, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful commemorative keepsake wreath. So if you're like me and you're always keeping photos and little trinkets, ticket stubs, or things that are significant to you or someone that you love and you're looking for a meaningful way to display them, this is the craft for you. This is also a beautiful way to add a personal touch to a loved one's memorial service or a celebration of life, or if you're just looking to keep a little piece of your loved one with you in your home, this is a beautiful way to do that. So I'm going to explain to you how I made this beautiful commemorative wreath so that you can make one too. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you plug your glue gun in right away so it gets nice and hot. And in the meantime, we're going to cut our batting into 3-inch strips. So we're going to need about 3 strips, which we are then going to wrap around our foam base. So let's grab the batting. You're going to want to make sure that your scissors are nice and sharp because this can be difficult to get through if you don't. So 3 inches is about this thick, and you're going to want 3 of them. You might need a little more or a little less depending on how tight you wrap your batting around your foam base. But if you need another strip, just cut another strip. You should have plenty of batting. And it doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see. So there's 1 strip, and you want to repeat that until you have 3 strips of batting. Another one here. Another couple here. And if your glue gun's nice and hot, you want to pick a side that you're going to stick with as your rough side. That's the side that's going to have all the ribbon endings and lace endings and things like that. And you're going to put a little bit of glue down like that, and then place your batting here. And then you're just going to start wrapping the batting around your wreath base. So leaving a little bit of an overlap each time. And you don't want to tie it super, super tight, but you don't want it to be loose either. So just pull, but don't pull too hard or else the batting will come apart. So once you're at the end of a strip, take your glue, put some glue down, and secure the batting end here. And repeat the same thing. There we go. So it'll look something like this once the batting has been wrapped around and it's been secured with some hot glue. Next, you want to wrap it with your lace. So to do that, again, you want to go to your side with most of the rough edges and put some hot glue there. Carefully press your lace down. And you can also use a straight pin to just secure the lace a bit better. You can push it straight into the foam base. Once you do that, you're going to start wrapping the same way you wrapped the batting around the wreath with the lace. And you want to keep doing that, pulling tight. You want to pay more attention to how you're wrapping this, because this is what will be on the outside of your final product. So pull it nice and tight. And continue wrapping until you've wrapped the entire base around the batting with your lace. So we've done one ahead of time to show you. It'll look like this. So now that your foam base has been wrapped with batting and then wrapped with the lace, it's time to add the narrow colored ribbon. So, like I said, today we're going to be using two different kinds. We have this nice purple as well as a shimmery pink. So you're going to need 4 yards of each. So I've got mine cut into 4 yards. Then you want to take your first color and with a straight pin, poke a hole in the ribbon and pin the ribbon near where you pin the end of your lace. You can cover this spot with your bouquet later if you pin it to the front. So once you have it pinned, you're going to start wrapping your ribbon around the wreath. Try to space out your wrapping spirals evenly, as evenly as you can. Just keep going until you reach your start point, like that. Now, I previously cut my ribbon, but you can leave it right on the wheel so that you can spiral it around, and if you need a little more or a little less than the 4 yards, then you can just cut accordingly. So the first round looks like this. And now if you're using the same color of ribbon, you're going to take your second strand of it. We're using a different color, a nice pink color here. So you want to take your second strand and again take a pin, poke a hole in the ribbon, and find that place that you started your other ribbon and put another pin right in there. And this time we're going to be crisscrossing. So you want to repeat what we just did with the remaining 4 yards of the narrow ribbon, but this time we're going to go in the opposite direction to form a crisscross. So you can see last time I went this way, so this time I'm going to go this way. So you can see it creates this nice crisscross in the ribbon. You want to keep doing that. Try to just check it every time you bring the ribbon over that it's crisscrossing the other one. Across and across. across. And across. So it'll make a really beautiful effect. Once you're done your crisscross, again you want to fasten it to the end where you started. Another straight pin. And again, you can just poke it straight into the foam base. Like that. So this is what it ends up looking like. It's nice crisscrossing ribbons. They look just as beautiful with only one color. It's just personal preference. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is, if you're using strings of pearls like we are, you can follow the same step and just wrap the pearls around the wreath. You can secure it with some glue. Let me see here. We'll stay consistent and secure it where we started with the ribbon. Glue. Let it set for a second. You don't have to use pearls by any means. You can leave it with just the two ribbons, or you can use something completely different. It's totally up to you how you want to personalize it. Obviously, if you're making a keepsake wreath for Grandpa, pearls might not be the look that you're going for. And that's totally fine. You can just ignore this step. It's just super easy. Just wrap it around. Brings a nice dimension to the wreath. There we go. Once you're back at the start, take your scissors, cut, and then just add a little more glue to secure. It looks like this. So now that you've got the base of your wreath done, we're going to set that aside for just a second, and we're going to start working on our two mini flower bouquets that are going to be then attached to your wreath. So we're going to put this aside for now. And grab whatever flowers you decided on using. So today we have a little bit of greenery we're going to add in. And then we have some artificial white roses. And some artificial peachy pink and some pink, and these little white flowers here. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. Okay, and to make our bouquets, we're going to break apart our little bundle here. So we have the individual rose heads to work with. And then I'm going to cut my greenery into individual little things as well, pieces. And save these. Everything's in their individual pieces, and then we'll start assembling the mini bouquet. So I'm going to grab a piece of greenery, push some of this leaves up, and I want a few different colors of roses in my little bouquet. So I'm going to do a white, and I like this light peach. And I'll stick the greenery in there too. So you can just build your own bouquet. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
It's all personal preference, and it's going to look different based on what flowers you're using. So I'm going to then mix in these little flowers. Create something that looks like this. Play around with it until it looks like you like it. And once you are satisfied, you can take some of your fish wire or beading wire, whatever you're using, florist wire, and cut a piece. Big enough to tie your bouquet together. Make sure you double knot it. Triple knot it if you wish. Cut off the excess bits. Looks like this. And then I'm going to add some glue to glue the pieces together. Just a little bit of hot glue to fuse all those flowers together so they don't come apart. We have one bouquet that looks like this. I'm going to set that aside, and you want to try to make the next one as close to the same as the first one as you can. Okay, looks like this. Similar to this one. And you want to do the same thing. Use your hot glue gun to put glue on all of the stems so that they get fused together. You might find that the stems are a little long now, so you can feel free to give those a trim as well. You have two bouquets that look like this. So now that you've got your mini bouquets, it's time to attach them to your wreath. So we'll grab our wreath again and just give it a once over and look for any places that you're not so happy with your crisscrossing work or your lace layering. And then you can use this opportunity to cover those imperfections with your mini bouquets. So let me see. This looks a little thinner than the rest of the wreath, so I'm going to go with here. So you want to angle your first mini bouquet down like this. So once you're happy with the placement, you can take a florist pin, looks like this, and you should be able to just punch it into the foam base like that, through the batting, and it'll secure the flower in like that. You can also, if you want, add a little bit of hot glue underneath before you do that, just to make sure that it doesn't come off. Just be careful when you're pushing the pin in after the glue is in. So once you do one bouquet, it looks like this. And you do the exact same thing on the other side. So you want to angle the bouquet in the other way now. And you want to leave some space in the middle, like this, because you're going to be adding your stacked bow, which we're going to be making next. So you just want to repeat the exact same thing you just did. This time we'll add a little bit of glue beforehand. And place our second bouquet. Grab another florist pin. Sometimes you gotta work it around a little bit for it to punch through. You can rearrange it. You're happy with it, and it'll look like this. Now that your mini bouquets are added, it's time to get working on the bow. Okay, so the first thing you want to do to make your stacked bow is to grab your ivory satin wired ribbon, and you want to start by making 2 loops with the ribbon. So this is going to establish the width of your bow. So to do that, just start like this. So that's 1 loop, 2 loops. So this will be the width of my bow. So if you want to grab your wreath and get a feel for how big you want your bow to be, that looks about right. You want your bow to cover up the ends of your mini bouquets here. So I'm happy with that length, width for the bow. So then I'm going to make 2 more loops, roughly the same size. 1 and 2. So that it looks like this. Now I'm going to take that 1 yard of ribbon that's narrower but the same color as the ribbon for the bow, and I'm going to tie off the center of this bow. This can be tricky to do on your own because it's nice to borrow someone's finger to keep your bow nice and tight, but it can be done. Go. Tie it in a double knot to make sure it's secure. And you want to have these overhanging pieces because you're going to be using them to attach the top layer of your bow. So this is the bottom layer of the stacked bow, and now we're going to make the top. So once that's tied off, you can trim the tail of your bow. So this is going to be how long the bow drapes down. So I'm going to trim it about here. Again, it's up to personal preference how you want to trim it. Trim it there. And then to make the top layer of the bow, you're going to follow the exact same steps, but you want your width to be slightly smaller than you did the first one. So let's see. I'm going to have my loops be slightly smaller. So you can line it up on the bow that you just made, and you want it to be slightly smaller in width. So once I've got that, I'm going to make 2 more loops for a total of 4, just like we did last time. So then it looks like this, and then I'm going to place this second layer stacked on top of the first layer that we did in between the narrow ribbon. And we're going to use that ribbon to tie that bow across the center in place on top of the other one. So this is attaching the 2 bows together. Pull it tight, double knot. That it looks like this. And then you have your second tail here, so you want to have it be approximately the same length as the other side. So I'm going to cut that here. So that it looks like this. And now you can trim these 2 ends. Trim it nice and close to the knot. And then you're going to fluff up your bow. Because it's a wired ribbon, you can make it nice and fluffed up here. Just put your fingers in between the loops and pull out. You'll eventually have something that looks like this. Now you might notice that satin ribbons often fray like this, so I'm going to show you a little trick. If you have a lighter on hand, carefully turn the lighter on and just run it along base of the ribbon. It'll melt the base and prevent it from fraying. So you can do that to both sides. Just keep running it back and forth. There you go. So once you've done that, you can grab our wreath again. And we're going to attach the ribbon to the center of the wreath, covering up the ends of the mini bouquets. So to do that, we're going to take a tiny piece of narrow ribbon, and we're going to wrap it around the center of our bow and tie it in tight. And double knot it. Just be careful not to smush the loops of your bow. Once you've double knotted it, you can trim the ends. Be careful not to cut your actual bow. And then rearrange those loops again, get them the way that you want them. And then your bow looks something like that. Okay, now it's time to start adding your mementos to your keepsake wreath. So we keep these things for a reason. So it's not like we want to glue gun every keepsake item that we have to our wreath. So we have the option of using the glue gun for more decorative items, but if you want, things like picture frames and jewelry and things like that, we have the option of sewing that or pinning that on so that it can be removed whenever you like. Now, think outside the box here. The options are limitless when it comes to what kind of items you want to include on your keepsake wreath. So if you had old buttons from your loved one's favorite sweater, or old postcards, or little ticket stubs from significant dates that you want to include on your keepsake wreath, you can totally do that as well. So today we have a few items that we're going to include on ours, and it's really smart to place the items along your wreath before you glue or sew anything on, because you want it to have like an even spacing and just overall aesthetically pleasing look. So you want to visualize what it will look like before it's permanent. So I'm going to start. We have these little lace butterflies here. So I might put one here. And then something like this photo charm we would sew on so that we're not permanently gluing it on in case we wanted to remove it at a later date. So I might put that here. And I have a seashell here. So now that I've mapped out where I want my mementos to go, I'm going to start gluing and sewing. So I'll start with my butterfly here. Put a little bit of glue on. Fasten that on. Now I want to sew this photo charm. So that's super easy. You just take some white thread or whatever colors you're using in your wreath and put the needle through the hole for the pendant and stitch it into the lace of your wreath. Do 3 or 4 times through the lace and through the hole. And then grab your scissors. Just make a little knot in the thread. It looks like that. Then you want to repeat the process until you've fastened everything to your keepsake wreath that you want. So once you've finished attaching all your mementos to your keepsake wreath, it'll look something like this, but based on all the unique mementos you decided to include in honor of your loved one, it'll look different, obviously. And then just to finish off your wreath, we're going to attach a little hook so that you can hang it on the wall. So you just need a little piece of ribbon. You can either use white to match the lace, or whatever color you use for the narrow ribbon you can also use. Today I'm going to use white, and I'm actually going to sew a little hook on. So I just took the ribbon, wrapped it to make a little hook, and I'm going to find the center of the wreath. And once I do, I'm going to carefully flip it. And with my needle and thread, just sew the ribbon into the lace. Perfect. Tie it off. Trim the excess thread. And I might put a straight pin in just for extra security. So you just pop it right through there.
And there you have it. You've officially made your own unique commemorative keepsake wreath. I hope that you found this video tutorial helpful. We would absolutely love to see photos of your completed unique keepsake wreath. You can post a photo in the comment box below, or you can post it to social media and tag us in it. Love lives on. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring ways that we can celebrate our loved ones' lives now and forever.